Yo, boss, where is the commercial?
We ain't got none. We got to work harder. Culture. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cultural Awareness, the podcast that allows you to travel across the world. All of this from the backseat of your car, the comfort of your home, or maybe your neighbor house. Who knows? Wherever you are, welcome. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I'm your host, Big Steph. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to this new podcast episode. Today is not a day like every other day, right? Today, I believe for you is going to be Monday. Monday, man, you're going to work, you're working hard and everything like that. So let me just say this. May the Lord Jesus Christ be with you. May God protect you in every single thing that you are going through or that you are planning on doing. Every project, every every goal that you set for yourself. May God be there to help you and guide you through it. Okay, be protected out there. If you are driving, if you are home listening right now, may God help you through every single project that you're planning on doing, right? That being said, also, God woke you up this morning, right? God woke you up for something. God woke you up for you today to be better than you were yesterday, right? So use this opportunity to do something better with your life, to do something positive, to to have some progress in your life. That project you've been thinking about doing, hey man, don't be shy. Take a step toward it. If you had a goal of accomplishing something, go ahead and try to do it, because guess what? Even if you fail, at least you will have tried, right? And you will have learned some lesson along the way. So with that being said, may our God, Jesus Christ, God himself be with you guys and guide you guys through this hard time of coronavirus that we are going through, this hard time, because I feel like this year is a little bit weird, right? So may God bless us, bless you and your family, and may he protect you and help you accomplish every single thing you've been wanting to accomplish. Now, welcome to Cultural Awareness Podcast. This is the podcast that allows you to travel around the world and checking, all the culture, all this from the backseat of your car again. From the backseat of your car, from your couch, or from your neighbor house, like I always say in my introduction. Today is a different day, because we have two stories to talk about, right? The first story, so I will every time try to put everything in perspective so that you as a listener get the context of what is going on. So the first story happens in Africa, in particular Cameroon, right? So I heard the story and I really, really, really felt bad, right? So the story goes as follows. This is about a story of a young lady that became an orphan as a kid around 13 years old, right? At 13 years old, she became an orphan. She lost both parents in a car accident. And usually in Africa, when you lose both parents that young, they usually try to send you to an aunt or an uncle that will take care of you and that is supposed to guide you through life. But unfortunately, this girl was sent to one aunt that really didn't care. Her aunt didn't care about her. So when she got there, her aunt was mistreating her, right? She was beating her. She was making her sleep outside of the house on the floor. And, like you can sleep on a balcony and things like that. So this is what this young girl is experiencing starting at the age of 13. And while that is all happening, her aunt doesn't want to hear anything. Her aunt is always beating her, mistreating her, and, obviously calling her all kinds of names. And everything was still fine with this little girl. But her aunt got involved with a man, right? She got involved with a man, and when this man came in the house and saw that this young girl, by the time he came in the house, the girl was around like 15, 16 years old. So by the time he comes in the house, he realized all that is happening, how this girl has nobody to turn to. Guess what he did? He took opportunity and started touching on her, feeling her, and things like that. This, may I remind you, she's only 15, 16 at this time. So he started feeling her, touching her, and finally he started raping her every time, over and over, every time, over and over, every day. And one day, everything that is in the dark must come to light. So one day, while he's arguing with the aunt, which is now his girlfriend from many years, he's arguing with his aunt, and he said to his aunt, because he's, mad, God opened his mouth. Like we said, be careful of what you do, because God will open your mouth and it will come public. So he's arguing with the aunt, and all of a sudden, one word came in couple words or sentences came out of his mouth. He said, "Oh, you are out here, you are not even good in bed. Your niece over here take care of me better than you do." He's talking about sexually. And that girl wasn't in the house, right? Her aunt had commissioned her. So when the story broke out of the house, and it was so bad to a point where even the neighbor had to intervene between this man and the aunt. Now, the little girl is coming from the commission that the aunt sent her. The neighbor said, if you are smart, do not go back into that house, because a story just broke out and your aunt will kill you right now. If you are smart, find another place to stay. Go somewhere else, but do not go back in that house, because she will kill you. So now the little girl at 16 years old started sleeping on the street. So she started sleeping on the street and passing every time on the same road. And some people, neighbors, and people that are doing, people at the store, like we call them commerçant. So they started seeing how this little girl is passing through the same project every day. She's struggling to eat and everything. So they started asking questions like, what is going on? Then they came to find out that, she's being mistreated or everything like that. And these people also took advantage of her by introducing her to men for prostitution, and that is how she becomes a prostitute. And today she's not complaining, she's more like having a concern, because now she has a daughter, and because she has a daughter of I believe her dad of 3 to 4 years old, she has a daughter, and she's worried. Why? Because she doesn't want her daughter to see that kind of life. So she's trying to get out of prostitution, but she says every time she tried to get out, she found herself getting back in. So every time she's trying to get out, she found herself getting back in. Not because necessarily of the money now, but because she took. Oh, excuse me about that, ladies and gentlemen. That was my ESPN app. I'm not promoting ESPN, but I follow a lot of sport around. But what is going on is she took a pleasure of doing what she's doing. She took a pleasure of being a prostitute. So it's like a drug for her now. So every single time she's, I guess, trying to get out, she always finds herself getting back in, and she's asking for advice on how she should do. Now, remember I said I will put everything in the context. So this is what is actually going on. I mean, this is the context. We're living here in Africa, in a place where, yes, we say we have social offices for these social issues, but really the thing is, that is paper, and you can see a building, but no one is actually taking care of these people. And do not forget, Simon Freud said that we are the product of our environment, right? So if you grew up in a violent environment, you will become violent. If when you see her childhood, the things she's been through, right, and how she reversed to prostitution, because she doesn't have any other way. You can maybe question also her schooling, right? Because imagine you stopped school since you were 13 years old, or a little bit before 13 years old. You don't know any better. So how will she handle the situation? Because she really obviously wants to get out. But my first thing as piece of advice that I would try to say is, with all that money, that she has made, all that she's making, maybe she should try to use it to have some type of project to open her own business. Go around people that, I don't know, do business at the market or anything like that, so that she can maybe use her money for an investment. Your life started bad, that doesn't mean that it will end bad, right? You can always find a way to change your life, and you don't have to wait for tomorrow to do it. You can start doing it today, right? So my piece of advice is, find someone that can help you. Like, I believe that aunt did you dirty, but try to find other uncle or aunt that maybe can guide you through it and maybe can help you with the situation. And, take care of your daughter, because the same thing you went through, you don't want her to go through. So try to open a business with a little bit of the saving that you have. And if you don't have a saving, you have to find a way to get a saving to open some type of business that will get you out of that life. That being said, that is my piece of advice. That was the first story. And ladies and gentlemen, so please leave comments about the story. Tell us what you think, and maybe some people out there might have better advice than I do, and let her find some type of way. And if you guys, I'm not gonna ask for her, but I can ask around or anything like that if there's a way that she can be helped. But I don't know. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's up to you now. It's up to you to see how you can help her or anything like that. That being said, let's go to the second part of the story. Today's a sad story, so please stay with me. So on the second part of the story, I need to put the story into context. Me coming from Africa, right? It's very, very hard to get in the United States of America or in Canada. These two countries are very hard. Some people just go to Europe, then it's not also easy to go there. But most importantly, Canada, US, and some countries in Europe are very tough to get into. So some people will take advantage of you and promise you things because they know you will do. If you would do it, because your desire or your goal is to go to the US or Canada. So this is the story of a young man that when he finished his college, he went to Canada. He started working over there, and while he's working, his parent called him that, hey, you are my son. And I don't know if he's the only son. I didn't quite grasp that part, but it looked like he is. So he said, you are my son, and it's time for you to be responsible, meaning it's time for you to have a woman by your side. So we went and spoke to this such and such family, and they have a good daughter that was raised well and everything. So we think she will make a good wife for you. Yeah, we still do that, ladies and gentlemen. Back home, we still do that, right? Your parent can go look for a wife for you if they think that that family is a good family and that they gave a good education to their daughter. So that is what happened. And then the guy reluctantly, at first, because he wanted to look for his own wife, but he ended up saying, okay, so who is she? So he came in Cameroon, and they went and presented the daughter and everything. So he married the daughter, and he sent the daughter to his parent house, because when you marry her, she can no longer live with her parents. She has to live with your side of the family. And since he wasn't there and he's not able, because he has to get back here in Canada and take care of things and be able to send her, paperwork and everything like that in order for her to call. So it took him about 5 years to do so. To make sure that the wife comes to Canada. It took him about 5 years. Now, 5 years is a lot. If you are married, 5 years is a lot. Where Yes, he will go from time to time in Cameroon, maybe once or twice a year, but he's mostly residing in Canada. So that being said, 5 years, like I said, it's a lot, and a lot can happen in 5 years. So what he did not know, after all these years where he was, doing the paperwork for his now wife, she comes to Canada. When she comes in Canada, he realized that she is 3 months pregnant. Yep, you heard it right. She is now 3 months pregnant. And he's like, whoa, how is that possible that you can be 3 months pregnant? Like, I don't want this. I want to send you back to where you came from, obviously, to Africa. I'm like, he's like, I'm going to send you back to Africa where you came from, because how is it possible that you're already carrying another man child of 3 months? Then the girl opened her mouth and said, your father is actually the father of this child. So his own father is the father of the child. So his wife is carrying his little brother, or his half brother. This is really messed up. And the guy found out it is actually true. The father was taking advantage of this young girl by saying that if you don't comply to my request, I will tell my son that you are no good wife, that you are not a good person, and that he should go ahead and look for another wife. And because remember, he is the one that set it up, that marriage. So some people started questioning, weren't they messing before he actually introduced that girl to his son? How can the father do such things to his own son? So now the mother didn't want the story to come out because she think it will make the family look bad. To me, that makes her an accomplice, right? You cannot do that. If you know, and the elders of tradition in my country, when they spoke about it, they said that the first person that is guilty is the mother. And you will say, well, how is the mother first guilty? They say she knew that what her husband was doing. She knew that her husband is some kind of way. When you know that your husband is some kind of way, because a woman always knows her husband. When you know that your husband is some kind of way, you should have tried to protect that little girl by sending her maybe somewhere else, or bring a family reunion to step in so that the father do not do such thing or do not take advantage of her. Because the idea of traveling abroad makes people do things that they wouldn't do otherwise, So the father you say blackmail. The father blackmail her by saying that if she doesn't do the request, he will go ahead and tell his son not to take her. And that is what the young girl was worried about. That's why she ended up sleeping with her father-in-law and carrying his child. Apparently, it might not be the first time it happened, right? So, this story is really messed up. I don't even know what to say, but I have to tell the story since I promised that I would tell 2 stories today. What do you guys think about the story? To me, that, there is no way. This is just no way, right? That father just ruined an entire family, because I know his son is not going to forgive it. Even the traditionally say that he has to go to Africa and do some clearance on himself, just because he ate the same food that his father did, which is really forbidden in our tradition. In the Bantu tradition, a father should never sleep with the same woman that his son slept with, which he did without knowing. Even though it was without knowing, there's some curse that can come from that. So he has to first go and cleanse himself. Traditionally, they would do ceremonial and mystical tradition of cleansing for him, so that he doesn't have a shadow of cursing on his life. But that being said, that story is still messed up. I'm out of words. I don't even know what to say. right? Because I cannot even imagine that. So you as a listener, please feel free to leave comment and tell us what you think about the story. We have many messed up stories and we have also some good stories. That being said, let's go to the quote of the day.
Yo, boss, where is the commercial?
We ain't got none. We got to work harder.
Okay, so still no commercial, still no sponsoring. We got to work harder, ladies and gentlemen. That is what this is about. You gotta grind, you gotta work harder. That being said, we are going to the quote of the day, right? And remember, I told you before when we were starting this podcast episode that God woke you up today for a reason. God is giving you the opportunity to be better than what you were yesterday. That being said, this is the quote of the day, right? On the quote of today, this is how it goes. He who does not seize opportunity today will be unable to seize tomorrow's opportunity. He who does not seize opportunity today will be unable to seize tomorrow's opportunity. So, what is the moral of the quote? Ladies and gentlemen, seize today's opportunity. Do your best, okay? Try to do your best out there in every single thing you do. If your job is a baker, bake that cake like no one will ever beat you at it. If your job is, this is what my dad used to say, if your job is to clean the street, be the best damn street cleaner nobody will ever see. Be good at what you do. That being said, do it with pride, do it with passion. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the quote of the day. He who does not seize opportunity today will not seize tomorrow opportunity, right? So we are coming to the end of this podcast episode. I hope you enjoy it, and please feel free to leave comments about the two story that we had today. And speaking of story, there's this, I don't know, for all my people that are listening to us from Texas, there's this restaurant called Taste of Cameroon in Plano, Texas, I believe. Yeah, Plano, Texas. Taste of Cameroon is by two African, like I said, by African couple and everything like that. So please go ahead and check out their food and tell us what you think, right? If the food is good, leave comment even on my podcast, because I need some comments, I need some likes. You know, we're living in that world today where we got to like and we got to comment, right? And please feel free to share the podcast, you know, with friends and family so that we can get more viewers. And by the way, the good news of the day is we are officially now on iHeartRadio. So you can actually look cultural awareness on iHeartRadio. This is like really, really good, right? I'm so happy so pumped about that. And we are on Spotify, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Google Podcasts, we are on Amazon Podcasts. Like literally, if you think of a podcast, we are on there right now. So please, if your device is not allowing you to maybe use the Apple Podcast, try Spotify, try iHeartRadio, try Google Podcast, try Amazon Podcast. All you have to do is type cultural awareness and you'll be able to find me. Cultural awareness, right? With a picture of, of cultural things or people. That being said, God bless you all. Thank you for listening to my podcast. May God guide you. May our Lord Jesus Christ guide you guys through your day. And let's meet again on the next episode. Big step.